Home grapes are easy to grow. Now, it will take a couple years for you to get grapes that you can harvest, maybe 3 to 5 years. These grapes here are probably about 6.5 years old. You just need an area that's, rather long, maybe 25, 50 feet, and you're probably going to plant your grapes maybe 6 to 8 feet apart. And I suggest, maybe a white and purple grapes. Also seedless grapes if you're going to fresh eat them, but you can also grow the grapes that have seed if you're going to make wine. And grapes like poor soils. They're finding that just plant them in the original soil that you've got, especially clay soils, are great. Now, one of the things grapes really don't like is a lot of rain. So when you have those years that don't have a lot of late summer, fall rain, the grapes tend to do better. And this variety here is known as Petit Verdot, and we're standing in front of some of the grapevines here at Barren Ridge Vineyards. Now, these are grown for wine, but even on a homeowner scale, you can test the sugar content like they do here with a unit that's called a Brix meter. It tests the right amount of sugar content so you know exactly when to harvest the fruit. The maintenance and pruning of grapes is pretty simple. You plant your grape. You'll notice here that there are multiple strands of wire that the grapes are supported by. And what happens is you have the grape coming up, and then you're training some of the main laterals in this direction, as you can see here, and that's a 2-arm system. And as you go up here, another set of laterals will be set across, and that's known as a 4-arm system. Pruning of grapes is best done in February, and the ideal way to prune grapes is not to overly prune them. This is one of those plants. The harder you prune it back, the more vigorous it becomes. So you have to find that happy medium without pruning too much. And the other thing, keep in mind, these main laterals, after so many years, they're replaced with a new lateral that will continue to produce fruit, as you see here. Imagine this plant with no leaves and no fruit. What you really want to accomplish when you prune them in February is to sort of thin them out, tip them back, but you'll notice that the real old growth doesn't really have any fruit. It's some of the younger growth that is aged that sets the fruit. So you want to maintain a renewal process of new branches like this. So in some cases, I'm going to come out and I'm going to prune this one away. So I'm going to thin out part of this to open it up for more light, but I'm going to leave some of these other branches. And at the same time, I'm training new main laterals for the next many years of growth. But the key is not to over prune, because if you prune too hard, you can get way too many shoots. Once you have your grapevines established, they're easy to maintain. Feed them on a yearly basis with an organic fertilizer. The other thing that you notice on these grapes here is this black hose, which is a drip irrigation system. It only applies water where the plants are. It's a very economical way to conserve moisture, and you only use it if you're not getting natural rainfall. You don't want to irrigate grapes too much, and the great thing about this is you don't have to worry about getting any of the moisture on the foliage. As to controlling insects and diseases, I suggest you look online for the most recent products that you can use to repel things like Japanese beetles. But again, remember, grapes are easy to grow right in your own backyard. I'm Mark Viette with In the Garden.
For more garden tips, go to inthegardenradio.com.